a mystery. And you can see in verse 2, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So this is talking about physical and spiritual life, and is very, very serious. Verse 3, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Now there is a great reward that God says He'll give to people who get behind His work and get this message out and turn people to righteousness. He says they are going to shine like the stars and the brightness of the firmament. That's what their reward is going to be. Is it worth it? Well, ponder that for a while, and you can see it certainly is worth it. The wise, God's very elect, get out there and they realize this is God's message. They get behind it and they turn people to God, and that to God is, well, that's the most amazing thing you can do, is to turn people to the Creator, and so that they will stop the madness in this world. Into verse 4 it says, you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end, and many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Where it says run to and fro, it really means apostatize, where God's own people are falling away from God. 95% of them. Verse 4 in the Moffat translation says, and now, O Daniel, keep all this a close secret, and keep the book shut as a secret till the crisis at the end. The crisis at the end. Then many shall give way, and trouble shall be multiplied on earth. Multiplied on earth. Verse 8, I heard this, but I did not understand it. So I asked, oh my Lord, what is to be the last phase before the end? But He said, ask no more, Daniel, for the revelation is to be kept secret and closed till the crisis at the close. The crisis at the close. And then you can see in verse 7 and verses 5, 6, and 7, it actually ends up shattering the power of God's people. In verse 7 it reads, it shall be for a time, times and a half, and when He shall accomplish to shatter, it should read, the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. All of these things are going to be finished. Then in verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. God is going to test us. He wants us to be made white by trying and testing us, getting us ready so that we can shine like the stars forever and ever. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Are we wise, or are we wicked? There is an article here, I'll just touch on it, but Latin American Leaders Assail U.S. Drug Market by William Booth, published December the 19th from the Washington Post, and they're all upset because of what our drug addiction is doing to Latin America, and especially to Mexico and other nations in South America. Our addiction to drugs and the cartels getting weapons from the U.S., high-powered automatic weapons, has just practically wrecked this country of Mexico, because we have to have our drugs, or a weekend of drugs, or our life of drugs. Why do we need drugs? Are we really good people the way we say we are so often? God says He has a lot of wrath toward His people, Israel, and that includes America. Better take a close look at that and realize what we're talking about here. A lot of terrible things are happening in this world, and we need to, everybody in the U.S. and all around the world needs to do some repenting. I don't care who it is. We need to repent more deeply. Verse 11, and from the time that the daily sacrifice, or God's work, shall be taken away. God's going to protect His people and take them away and make sure that they're not harmed if they do His work. That's what He's talking about. And the abomination that makes desolate, set up. There shall be 1,290 days. And you'll see that that abomination that makes desolate is that European army led by Germany. They started World War I and World War II, and they're going to be right in the thick of World War III as well. It's just doing what comes naturally. But there's a tremendous warning here, as God says, either we do His work or we're not protected when all of these things come upon us. We're not going to be protected. Verse 11, 1290 days shall pass after the daily offering has been stopped and the appalling abomination has been set up. Blessed is he who waits till he reaches the 1335 days. Go and wait for the end. You shall rest in the grave, and then shall rise to enjoy your share at the end of the days. He told Daniel, now look, Daniel, you're going to be in the grave, and I'm going to raise you right up out of the grave. When I come, at my second coming, I'll raise you up, and you will rule over the Gentiles because of what you've done in this world. Now that's quite a reward, and if you look at Jeremiah 30, it's the same prophecy. And it talks about the worst time of suffering ever, none ever like it. And in verse 9 it says, God is going to raise up David to be king over all Israel because of the great deeds he did in this life. I mean, God is giving out great rewards if we'll just get behind His work and support it in every way that we possibly can. Until next week, this is Gerald Flurry. Goodbye, friends.